Hey everyone, in this video I'll be breaking down the top 5 strongest Ice-type pals in Palworld's 1.0 update. We have pals that'll increase our damage and turn it into the ice type, like Iceland and Beacon Chris here. We also have some pals that make it really easy for us to freeze enemies. And we also have pals like Sweepa here with this really cool mustache that get a big buff for every Swee that is in the party, giving it a very respectable attack stat. And you know the deal, we're going to start off with some honorable mentions here because there's actually some pals that bring unique mechanics into the game. For example, Frost Plume will increase reload speeds by 50%, which is sometimes nice if you got a weapon that reloads often. Reptyro Crest here. This is going to reduce the weight of all types of ore by 65%. You may have seen other pals that say reduce the weight of ores, but it just applies to regular ore. This applies to all types of ore, which is great if you're going out and grabbing a ton of resources. Reptyro Crest also has its own unique skill here, which is kind of cool with the Frost Burst. Now, Loop Moon Chris actually has an interesting ability. It'll increase the melee attack speed by 50% while it's in your party, or 30% here while it's in your party. Melee builds just suck, but this is something if you want to run a melee style build. Now, Whaleaska and Whaleaska Ignis are great because they make it so that you start the fishing minigame with 14%, and also it makes it a lot easier. You basically want to have the whole fishing build set up here, and Whaleaska Ignis is even better. Whaleaska Ignis is actually a very respectable 3678 for its attack with the following passives. I'm putting the same passives on all these pals to make them easy to compare. We have Demon God, Serenity, Musclehead, and Immortality here, and this is something that's actually pretty strong with that 3678. We also have pals like Azerobe Chris, which will change our attack type to ice and increase by 20%. Same thing here with Univolt Chris and also Beacon Chris. Beacon Chris has the benefit of being able to fly around as well, as ice type is super effective against dragon type. So I do want to quickly just mention Muldrun Chris' special ability. Ice attacks when hitting enemies' elemental weaknesses by 40%. So what that means is when we attack a dragon type pal, we're getting a 40% attack boost from that passive. Another thing here, high quality cloth is one of the easiest gold farms without using the Duma guild. So you can just throw a Sibilix at your camp. There's also Snug Glue, which lets you stealth by enemies, which is kind of a cool ability, but Lee's Punk has an actual invisibility that is much better. We also have Wumpo here, which looks really cool and will increase your transporting work suitability at other base pals by 1. So that can be nice too, not really super ideal. I also just want to quickly mention Mamorest Chris, which will increase logging efficiency and mining efficiency by 2000%. Mount onto this pal, same thing with the regular Mamorest, and attack things. This increases your damage to those nodes by that percentage. And we also have pals like Pen King, which will increase the drops from fire pals by 80, but more importantly, Cryolinks, which increase the drops from dragon pals by 80%, because there's a lot of dragons that drop really good loot, especially at the world tree. And last honorable mention, unfortunately, going to Sweepa here. Now, I think Sweepa is actually one of the true strongest ice type pals in the game, but you're missing out on some really important things. So I know there's gonna be some people that say, yes, he is technically the strongest because if you throw your party full of Swee, you can get his attack set up quite a bit. He gets that 24% increase in his attack for every Swee that's in the party. The big downside to that though, is it means you're missing out on bringing pals like your Orzer, increasing pal damage by 150%. And this also means that we're missing out on some of the other buffs that we could add onto the party here. There's a lot of really great ones, like you can add extra blind buildup and blind attacks there. There's a lot of ways that we can go about doing this. I just don't think it's worth the juices worth the squeeze. Unless you really like having a party of all just one single type here, you're getting better bang for your buck with the other pals. That's why I'm going to leave it as an honorable mention. As much as I love Sweep, I think it's a really cool pal. It just doesn't keep up with the others. And unfortunately, Chillet. I love Chillet, but the only problem is Chillet's attack stat is not very high here. It is the second fastest water mount, and it's a pal that I never have leave my party for most of the game, so it is the best boy in our hearts. Just this is going to be purely like numbers and overall attack and ability kind of breakdown. Chillet actually is more like a dragon because it changes your attack type to dragon compared to these other types, but in 5th place, our 5th best ice type pal is Ronnie the Witch here, Iceland. This is the Witch's Icy Veil skill. Now, what makes this pal so good is a variety of things. It has a very respectable attack stat. It also will change our attack type into ice and increase the attack by 50%. So again, if we're going against a dragon type pal, this is the best pal to bring. I did mention, obviously, we have like Beacon, Univolt, and Azerobe, which can also do the same and increase it by 20%, but you have to mount them. So you can have Iceland out still slinging its attacks while you're dealing that increased damage by 50% and changed over to ice, which again, if you're fighting a dragon type, that 50% is even further increased because you're doubling up your damage. It also has really good moves. Nothing unique here in terms of its unique moves, so that is the only downside, but there's a lot of really good ones like Blizzard Spike there that just carry the cold type here. But it also has really good base suitability, so this is mostly about strength and combat, but having a solid handiwork of 5 at base, 7 upgraded here when we're max condensed at level 5, medicine production, transporting, and cooling means that it can do a lot of things at your base as well. And it's a witch. We love witch type things in games, and this is a very fun and cool pal. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to call it over and then get it to activate the witch's icy veil here. So we got our skill activated, which is going to infuse our attacks with extra damage. Jet Dragon's running away because he knows his time is almost over here. So yeah, I don't even have this build maximized for it, but that extra turning our attack types into ice is just doing a lot of good there. And you can see it's going to town. It just got to freeze off. Freezing is what makes ice just so good. Yeah, it just melted. I didn't even have to put in much effort, but it'll also change our attacks over to that damage type. So using whatever you got, it is now ice. But I will mention that again, Beacon Chris can fly, so that may be better for your purposes. But next up, in our 4th place, we have Elgrove Chris. Now, this pal is kind of crazy, because while it's in your party, it grants the player the ability to freeze enemies afflicted with soak in 1 strike. That is absurd when you consider Ophidia exists, who can apply soak build up by 6 here, so you can soak a pal using Ophidia and immediately freeze them with Elgrove Chris. It also comes with the Raging Snow Rush here, which is its unique skill here, which is honestly a pretty strong one. But it has not just Raging Snow Rush. In earlier level, it also has Snow Rush here, so 2 exclusive skills. And you don't even have to call it out for it to have its effects here, because we can just go ahead attacking. Once we get that, you see it there. We got the soaked applied and then an immediate freeze. So yeah, that is absurdly powerful because it makes it easier for you to catch. That's why we'd want to soak pals. But yeah, you can get a bunch of extra freezes off. Nice. It had a 3 health and it was frozen there. So that gives us a very nice capture. Wow. Yeah, that happened. But nonetheless, we had 2 freezes off there immediately, so this is a pal that you'd want to duo up with Ophidia. But another thing about applying soak onto enemies is that they'll end up taking double electric damage. So you can go with an electric freeze build, and it's honestly really good. And next up in 3rd place, we have Moldron Chris. Now, regular Moldron is a little bit better than Moldron because of his ability adding 8% for every ground or fire type that you have in your party. But as mentioned a little bit earlier, Moldron Chris makes it so that our ice style attacks will do an additional 40% damage if we attack against a dragon type. So that in itself is really good. But it comes with 2 exclusive skills. Similar to Moldron's, it has, instead of like the lava laser, it has ice laser and ice spit. You can also mount it, so it's great because you can have it do its attacks there, and then you can go ahead with attacking with your guns or whatever. It does a beam and then another beam, so you hit these and it leaves an ice surface on the ground which can freeze, and it's all about the hazard damage. So you also have ice spit here, which will create a surface on the ground in front of you with ice. It is such a good pal. Those 2 moves are very strong. I really like the looks of them as well, and it's a ground type, which means that it is great against electric, so you got good coverage there. The ice laser is a really cool skill though. You see there again, big long line, and then you can move it and line it up in another spot. So yeah, very powerful in itself, and it has a really good attack stat there. So in the party's got 5137 for its attack. It also comes with mining and cooling, which is fine for if you want it at the base, but you basically want to go fight against a dragon type, have this in your party. It doesn't even need to be out to get that effect, so you can just leave it in your party, but you also got these very powerful moves, making it a worthwhile pal to use. Now, there are a few things that I enjoy more in gaming, but one of the most enjoyable is any type of big bonk hammers that you can use, and Bastigor brings exactly that to the table. So, with its exclusive skill here, you can ride on it. It also allows you to do that hammer attack there, and the further you condense it, the further the damage goes. Now, Bastigor is not just a great offensive pal with that 53-21 with the current passes that we have, it also has lumbering, mining, and cooling, so it can be a great base pal too. It also will naturally learn double Blizzard Spike, one of the best ice moves in the game. It also has its own exclusive Glacial Impact, which roars and has a pretty cool attack there. And also Frost Talon, another exclusive attack. So to show you what this all looks like, we got our Frost Talon skill here, which you can do that attack there, rush in and attack again. And we also have the Glacial Impact, which does that roar and then jumps into the air and pow! Freezing them, destroying them. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then another explosion. Geez, we got every type of ancient relic from that. That's crazy. You can also give him the old wackus bonkus here, so you can just go ahead and brutally miss there. It does have a cooldown around 4 to 5 seconds there, so you can just go, or 5 seconds I guess I should say, and then you can go ahead and attack again like that. Pretty large damage there, so it's fun to just go huh, and hit with your hammer. It only hits straight in front of your pal, so just be mindful this will take some timing to get comfortable with, but yeah, it can be a really fun one just for farming, because yeah, who doesn't want to jump up and bonk? Now while Bastigor is an extremely good pal, it's not the best. Our number one, so see the 5321 attack there, is Frostallion. 5695. But that's not all. It also is another pal that's going to change our attack type to ice and increase the attack by 40%. This will also apply freeze buildup by 6, so again, if you use a combat SMG, that gives you further increased damage. It also has some really nice moves like Crystal Wing there, which hits twice, so it actually does double the damage that you'd imagine it would. It also learns at natural the double Blizzard Spike and Holy Burst, which is an incredible move if you're just going and farming, but you also get all these other moves here, which are incredible, so you get a lot of great stuff out of this. Frostallion, though, is just an absolute powerhouse of a pal. I really like Frostallion Noct as well, and they're just really reliable pals. Being able to change your attack type into ice automatically and also give it a 40% boost is really good. Iceland's amazing for that 50% boost and allowing you to just attack at the same time. Like you can call it out and get your attack boost while also attacking with it. But with Frostallion, you're on its back, so you can command it to do whatever types of moves you want. So if you want to do a Holy Burst, go ahead, you can slay that down. And Frostallion is also a flying pal, which is amazing. So yeah, you can use that to maneuver around enemies. And you see there, we are able to get a freeze off. The combat SMG is really good for that because we attack so many times quickly. So you can constantly just continually freeze until you need to reload. So yeah, this makes Frostallion just such a really good pal. And one of my favorites in Palworld. This is something I use a lot during the early access, and it is extremely strong. Being able to fly around and do things like this is really cool too. So yeah, Frostallion, the GOAT. Yeah, let me know your favorite ice type pal in Palworld's 1.0 update. There's some pretty cool ice types, but yeah, there's a lot of good strong ones because again, they are very effective against dragon types, which makes them very valuable when there's a lot of good dragons in the game. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys all in the next video.